Hi, I'm Martin CADWALLADER, and I'm the Vice Chancellor for Research and Dean of the Graduate School at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The University is not in favour of Resolution 35 as currently written. However, the University proposes to increase opportunities for citizens of Dane County and beyond to learn about our animal research program, raise issues, and engage in dialogue. To this end, we propose a series of forums that would involve research scientists, ethicists, veterinarians, and others engaged in or interested in animal research both on and off campus. The purpose would be to provide periodic opportunities to exchange ideas, become aware of the changing federal landscape in research, and provide an open forum for discussion and dialogue on a broad range of animal research-related topics. The issues might include: who funds research of this kind? Are experiments involving animals necessary? Are there alternatives to using animals for research? Who is looking out for the animals? What happens when animals are no longer needed for research projects? What's the value of research with animals? In addition, we are committed to offering tours of our primate center, and we encourage you to take a careful look at our website on animal research, which provides a great deal of information about the research underway at UW-Madison. It also provides information about our animal care and use program. Our aim is to make our animal research program more transparent to interested citizens and to provide valuable information on the concerns and interests of our community. Thank you.
Just real quick, to follow up on what Dean Cadwallader said, and thanks for having us out tonight. His proposed idea sounds really good to me, and it sounds like it's a reaction to the idea that there would be an oversight committee created to look at this issue. I was a little concerned, though, that he said the people that, in their vision of this, it would be the people that would be having the forums, it sounded like they would be all vested in the system. They would be scientists using the animals, people involved in the care of the animals, all having some sort of financial ties to the industry. So that certainly worries me. But anyway, at the Health and Human Needs Committee hearing on this resolution, one point that was raised a couple of times is that there are federal regulations governing the use of monkeys and some of the other animals in the labs. And so there's no need. In fact, it may even be inappropriate for local government to concern itself with this issue. It is true that there are federal regulations governing most animal use in the labs. The two main regulatory bodies are the USDA and the NIH. The most recent USDA Inspector General's evaluation of USDA's oversight of the labs reported that the oversight is lax and that the inspected institutions view the very rare and typically small fines as just a cost of doing business. USDA oversight has little remedial power. The NIH rarely conducts investigations. It relies almost entirely on promises and self-reporting by the labs. The fact that the NIH is the agency promoting and funding the research, and at the same time has an office charged with policing the research, is reminiscent of the U.S. Minerals Management Service's goal of awarding oil drilling leases and at the same time trying to police the drilling. If one of the coastal Louisiana parishes now being impacted by the BP oil spill had formed a citizens committee to look into oil industry practices just off their shore, this might have led to the Louisiana legislature taking more interest, and perhaps even to federal intervention before the accident occurred, particularly if concerns had been raised by the parish as a result of a citizens advisory panel's work. I think we can imagine, though, what would have happened if a parish supervisor, or whatever such persons are called in the bio country, had proposed such a committee. The industry, of course, would have said that they're already well regulated by the Department of the Interior, the EPA, the Minerals Management Service, and rigorous self-policing. Other parish supervisors would have argued that the parish has no jurisdiction. Oil industry lobbyists would have testified that Louisiana's oil industry is the envy of the rest of the country. People working on the oil rigs would have said that they work hard to protect the environment. There would undoubtedly have been vigorous opposition to a citizens advisory panel for reasons strongly paralleled by the reasons put forward to opposition Res 35. Black and white jurisdictional issues aside, it seems to me that local elected representatives have a far greater ethical obligation to look carefully at what's happening in their local communities than do federal regulators. relying on the state or federal government in local matters neglects a fundamental responsibility to look carefully at what's happening in our own community. Since I have this, I thought I was going to get to speak for 3 minutes. Looks like I got an extra minute to talk.
You don't have to take your...
I'd love to do that. It seems to me that there's a paradox here tonight. The UW staff has come out because they're anxious to tell you about all of the benefits that they think accrue from their work on animals and how well they treat the monkeys and the other animals. But they're also arguing that they don't want any further discussion. Why are they so alarmed at the possibility that non-aligned public citizens would be looking at this issue carefully? Surely they'll get lots of more opportunities to tell the panel, if it is formed, all about all the benefits, about how well they care for the monkeys. But it looks as though they're worried about this possibility.
You have 1 minute left.
All right. A decision to vote against the resolution seems to me is simply a vote in favor of the status quo.
My name is Lynn Paully. I've been hearing some supervisors are concerned about the jurisdiction. I wasn't able to stay to the end of the Health and Human Needs Committee meeting last week, so I watched the ending online a couple days ago, and I was really impressed by Supervisor Durancik's comment that ethics have no jurisdictional boundary. I agree with Rick Bogle that choosing to table or to kill this resolution is basically a vote in favor of the status quo. Even considering tabling this resolution seems to me undemocratic. At the last meeting, those in favor of this resolution showed up 5-1. There's 13 co-sponsors, 15 supervisors have already voted in favor of moving this on to the full board. It would simply be inappropriate to hold this up in committee. It doesn't make sense that in a county as progressive and as visionary and as open as Dane County wouldn't be willing to just talk about this issue. I ask what harm can come from a citizens committee simply looking at the monkey research that's going on in Dane County. I urge you to please support Resolution 35 and pass it on to the full board.